are the company that you keep, whether it be, the same website. Like, if you like this, you may like other ones in your area.
Right.
Kind of vibe.
Exactly.
It's a great call. I like where your head's at.
So it's been a back and forth on that, but we are going to go with open tables. So I would recommend, just in general, just going to our website to make reservations. That way you can keep up with that switch when it happens.
There you go. All right. So, you mentioned something earlier, and I forgot it. It was a great segue, but we're going to dive these next questions into a little bit about you, Josh. These are going to be questions about how you spend your weekends, as somebody from the Western, or from cargo short country, casserole country, whatever you want to call the Rust Belt. But we're going to kind of learn a little bit about where the craft mixologist likes to go and enjoy his drinks on a day off. But before we do that, we're going to ask the hard-hitting question. Are you a cannabis user?
Oh, yeah.
You work in the restaurant industry, but I don't like to, blanket assume.
For sure.
What's your means of getting high?
Personally, well, I think there's a slight difference between, flour and oil.
Uh-huh.
Lately, I've been more into flour, but I prefer the health benefits of like a vape pen or something. I've done dabs and I can do dabs, but they just put me out.
I'm in the same boat, man.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. As someone I've hit the pen like 86 times since I've been in this interview. I smoke flour when I get up. I'm in the same boat. A dab, and I'm like,
yeah, just head into the pillow on the couch, just gone.
It's like, damn it, it's like going from, it's like a gravity bong.
Yeah,
is what it is.
For sure.
It's like the good old days. I miss the socket rocket, but at the same time, sometimes we don't need to be that high.
Yeah, right.
We're
it's just
questioning our "why was I born" type question. I don't want to know. I don't want to have.
Yeah, right.
Do you have where's your go-to to a shop?
I don't know if I have one actually. I would say, so I smoke, but I don't smoke like a lot. So I usually only go to a dispensary like once every 6 weeks, 2 months maybe. And so whenever I go, it's usually whatever's closest to me.
There you go. Well, I understand that proximity is a concern for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, familiarity, rewards programs, things of that nature.
For sure.
But right here down the street after work or before work, I'd recommend swinging through Callie's Cannabis right there at 8th and Kenosha Court. It's just off the interstate. You can jump right over on the bridge and then take a ride on Broadway, and you'll be at the office in no time. It's perfect for the after shift buzz. I recommend it thoroughly. And so whenever you're looking for a dispensary or you're trying to find something that kind of hits the spot but will hold up for you, go check them out. They grow all their flower here, personal family touch. It's a great recreational cannabis shop. Go give them a check out.
I love that. I'll have to go check them out for sure. I haven't heard of them before.
Yeah, see, they're kind of new on the scene, and so
Okay.
we partnered with them to make sure everyone this summer has heard about them. And they also have killer deals, and they're going to be partnering up with the industry, hospitality industry as well, to kind of help give y'all. In fact, Mondays was the day I proposed for an extra percentage boost off. So hopefully they'll be unveiling that soon. But for the meantime, they have deals every day of the week. So go check them out.
Awesome. Yeah. I love that idea, too.
Back to your regularly serviced conversation. All right, so these are the hard-hitting questions that I told you about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The first one's going to be, since you are a craft cocktail person, is that your preferred way to drink? Are you a beer, liquor, wine?
So actually, being a craft cocktail person makes me very picky about craft cocktails. And because I can make them, right? Like most bars that I go to, I look at the menu, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can make that. I've had that, blah, blah, blah. So I don't generally go to craft cocktails because for me, they're a bit of an expensive experience for something that I can do myself. Yeah. But that being said, when I go to some of my favorite craft cocktail bars like Union Lodge or Williams & Graham and so on, that's where I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a craft cocktail because these guys, they know what they're doing.
They're bringing that A game as well.
And then it's like R&D. You're learning something. You're having a cool experience. You can nerd out with them and be like, what did you do with this? Blah, blah, blah. So my go-to actually is usually beer and wine. I'd say beer is like I just did Whole30.
I tried that in February and I got like 11 days.
Did you? Oh,
yeah,
man. Did you give up?
Huh?
You gave up?
Well, I accidentally ate something that was not approved, and then the girlfriend was like, oh, well, I won. And I was like, well, shucks, I guess I might as well get drunk.
You're like,
and
fuck
so
it.
that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. I got to, I'll be honest, I got to like day 29. We had a food tasting, and then at that point I was like, well, I got to eat the food for our new menu. And, but I will tell you, like, the thing that was killing me by the end is I just really wanted a fucking Pilsner. I just wanted a beer.
Just a basic-ass beer, too,
yeah, and that was probably the first thing that I did as soon as,
Really?
Whole30 was over is I got a beer. So if I had to get rid of an alcohol, beer would be the last one to go, I think. But I also love wine, the complexities of it, and it's great for all sorts of occasions.
I ask this question fairly often, especially to someone that is as skilled as you are in your industry. And Steven, who was on the podcast 2 weeks ago, and we asked him, is like, do you get snobby? Like if you go to a bar and be like, oh, damn it, this is not done right. And honestly, you work in the industry, so it's not like, oh, let me talk to your manager, let me send this back. But do you probe on the opposite direction of the R&D on the aspect of, hey, this is not a daiquiri, or like this is not a martini. Like why is it brown?
There's definitely like a point of understanding of like where you are, right? Like you have to have accurate expectations. You don't go into a dive bar and then get upset that your margarita tastes like garbage. But at the same time, for sure, yeah, like, yeah. If the expectations are there, if you're going to a place, if I'm going to a taco bar or a Latin bar, Mexican bar, whatever, restaurant, I expect you to have a fucking goddamn good margarita.
Yeah, not like something that's just out of like the pouring machine.
Yeah, I don't want your sour mix.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want your
That's fair. No,
plastic tequila.
But you're not going to send it back. You're
No,
just slug it.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I'm just never going to get a margarita here again.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say that we wrap up this episode in like the next 40 minutes, and it's your day off. Do you have a happy hour that you go to if you're not at one of your fantastic all-day happy hour Tiki Tuesdays?
There's so many good ones around the city. I like to mix it up, so I don't have like a go-to, but I will say like some of my favorite spots lately. Sunday Vinyl.
Yep.
Fantastic place. They're a wine bar. They've got a state-of-the-art sound system. They spin vinyls all night. Super knowledgeable staff. And then on Wednesdays, they do their Wine Fight Wednesdays.
Dude, I just did that a couple weeks ago for the first time. Revolutionary.
It's great.
It was wacky Wednesday.
Oh, and I went that day.
And
I was on
tour.
Yeah.
I was there just making a fool of myself
Hell
in the
yeah.
corner. That was it was. I liked that the macerated wines, and then the Fallout Boy from 2003.
It was such a weird pairing.
I loved it.
Yeah,
that is a great call.
That's funny. We must have just missed each other.
Yeah,
but
had we done this episode 3 weeks ago,
yeah,
we could have high-fived in the hallway.
Right.
Well, that's a great call. Follow-up question: date night. If you were going to take a lady out, and while I will say Adrift is a great date night spot, especially on the early dates, you won't spend too terribly much money, and the light vibes will keep it from getting too over complicated. Where's your date night spot when you're off work? Trying to woo a lady.
Well, I just want to just expand on Adrift for a second, just because I do think it is. If I didn't work here, I would bring all my dates here. But I would not do that because I do work here, and then it'd be really weird being like seeing everyone your
staff would be like trying to get it in.
Yeah, right. Like talking shit around the corner or whatever.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, right. My staff probably would do that shit too. They would. Yeah. But anyways, and Sunday Vinyl that I just mentioned is another spot that I think would be fantastic. I just went to Daughter Thai, actually.
On Platt Street?
Yeah. And I feel like that spot is really, would be really great for dates, because it's unique food. You kind of like feel each other out and be like, oh, like what kind of weird food are you into, you know? That's a cool spot. And then also, well, if you really feel like balling out, if you really like the girl, Tavernetta's one of my favorites.
It's a price point, though.
Yeah.
And it's, I kind of like what you said. Bringing them to Adrift, you could do that. All those things. You can have the fun time. You can have the elevated cocktail experiences.
Yeah, you get
without having to pay the elevated price point.
For sure, absolutely.
That's a good call. All right. So Chris, who's my co-host, he works at Tavernetta. He's going to love that plug you just gave him right there. So shout out, Chris. We miss you. These next two questions we ask all of our listeners, and then you're out of the woods. But this first one's it's a doozy, and it's brought to us. It's the Stoned Appetit question of the week. It's brought to you from Seed and Smith. Our friends at Seed and Smith Cannabis, they have fantastic doja. They have great flower. They have pre-rolls made with kind bud, those big old fluffy nugs. They have the dart pen, which I swear to God still is my favorite pen. You can't see as well how much of the cartridge is left, but it strokes like a fucking champion all the way down to its last bite. So go check out our friends at Seed and Smith. They're opening a new location up in Louisville, but for right now, they still have their location out near the airport, and then you can find them on their Instagram, Seed and Smith, or their website, seedandsmith.com. You can see where you can buy any of their products. I thoroughly recommend their vape pen. Can't express it enough. The Dart Pen. All right, last two questions. Here you go, Josh. It's the Stoned Appetit question of the week. I don't know why I did it like that, but
I love it.
sounds
No, I love
better,
it.
yeah. Let's say you had a long night. You had closing shift. It was one of the later ones, the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You get out of here at 2:30. What's that late night guilty pleasure snack you either get on the way home or you have it in your fridge at pantry at home that you just love to have, kick off your feet before you go to bed? Like kick off your shoes, climb on the couch and snack.
Well, I'm gonna start off with a call out to all Denver restaurants. Denver does not have is shit for late night food. There's nothing.
Pony Up is the only one I know of.
Yeah.
And it's I can't figure out why the fuck with so much live music going and shitty cocaine, there's got to be better late night food options.
Upstate New York, I would go to, and so in upstate, I'm just gonna
do it.
Quick thing, garbage plates. That's a thing up there. It's a Nick Tahoe plate. It's going to be mac salad, home fries. You got a burger with cheese on it, and over that there's like a hot sauce made out of cinnamon and ground beef and red hot, and then you put some ketchup and mustard, raw onions on that. You just mix it up, and it's just this disgusting, amazing. I'm drunk and I'm gonna feel like shit tomorrow
that
meal.
Gluttonous,
yeah,
like
it's
plate.
just it's the best thing ever.
Bomb.
And
we really don't have anything like.
We have nothing like that here. There's nothing. There's Ian's downtown, that pizza spot, but that's far for me. I'm not gonna go downtown.
Where's home? Do you live in the neighborhood? The area?
Yeah, I actually live off Spear, so
cool.
Cap Hill area, but.
Yeah. A bike ride away.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. Like we don't like, and Ian's is fucking garbage. Personally,
I mean, yeah.
The mac and cheese pizza is okay.
Yeah,
but that's
for sure.
that's a stonerism.
Yeah.
Original J's, which obviously is so far for you, but it's over next to Cervantes inside of the Club 715. They have like a New York style pizza that's open late through a window. But you're right. Like we don't have that here, so that's why we've had to almost make the addendum, like what's in your pantry, refrigerator for the restaurant industry.
So usually that's what it is. It's whatever I have on hand. Or McDonald's, unfortunately. It's a McDonald's right here. It's 24 hours. There's a dude who works there who's like way too into his job. He's like, "You have a great night," and then just like.
I don't hate people that can find a positive vibe.
No, I didn't hate it.
I'm that guy. But man, it'd be tough to do. I mean, that one over there is an interesting spot, hot location of Broadway in Alabama.
For sure.
All right, what's your guilty pleasure snack then?
Yeah, my guilty pleasure snack. I mean, man, I wish it wasn't. I'm trying to think of something better.
Do you go breakfast food or do you go late night snack meal? Because I would get sausage biscuit if I'm there at 3 a.m.
I mean, yeah, when I'm over there, I usually get like a sausage. Well, they only do breakfast past like 2. So
they don't do.
Yeah.
Well,
they stop their lunch menu after like a certain time. So sausage biscuit is actually usually. I'm allergic to eggs too, so I can't even do the sausage and egg. I just gotta.
You're allergic to all capacities of egg.
I can
eat them when they're all full grown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, chicken I'm fine with. Chicken I'm fine with, but and there's something in alcohol that like changes the protein, and I can have egg white cocktails and flips, but I cannot have like a breakfast burrito or an omelet. And I miss those things.
So
Eggs
your
Benedict.
breakfast menu is very limited.
It's so limited.
And your burgers are probably a little inundated.
I mean, I miss eggs on my burgers. Yeah, it's so much better.
Wait, was this a late onset thing?
It was something that's always been a thing, but I didn't realize it till late in life.
I was always
so
hard, violently after I have big breakfast.
That's exactly what it was, and I was just like, I feel like garbage every time I eat breakfast. And then I was like, oh, it's the eggs, obviously.
I have IBS, Mom.
Yeah, right.
Don't eat eggs only this week.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Not only for McDonald's, but also for the egg diet.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's tough.
Yeah, well, so anyway, that's my call out to Denver restaurants. We're trying to do late night food here, but it's just staffing right now.
Yeah.
Is a big part of it. But we need more late night food and just places in Denver that are like, yo, we're gonna serve you great food at 2 a.m.
What do you think the answer to that is? Because we are so spread out as people go to bars in their neighborhoods and in their community, little smaller areas, their sects. So as much like the Highlands, people hang out in the Highlands because they have enough bars to tend to them.
Right.
And occasionally you'll bip and bop or go across town. But why doesn't the Denver Diner survive? Why doesn't Tom's Diner survive? Why can't we keep them alive?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I honestly think it's because everyone smokes so much weed here. So everyone gets tired and they're like, I'm going to go to bed. Or, they want to go hiking in the mornings, and we have more of an active daytime community, whereas other cities in Rochester, you're not gonna, you have nothing to do.
Dick from
I'm gonna sleep until 2 p.m. and play video games. There's nothing else to do.
Snowing outside.
Right.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
You don't even have mountains to go snowboarding on. So That's probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
People like to go to bed earlier here.
Yeah, there is nobody's looking for the gut bomb except for like that